Hey guys, welcome back to Creativity and Inspiration. How's everyone doing? Boy, I have a mess on my table here. And why do I have a mess on my table? Because we're going to alter 6 playing cards, and I'm going to give you different ideas how you can use these playing cards and create different items from them. So we're just going to jump in, because this is going to be a little different than you've seen altered cards before. Maybe some are the same, but some will be different. So let's just jump in. What I'm going to do is clean off my table, and we are going to do 6 different altered playing cards. I've got my playing card. I've got some book pages that I'm going to cut a flower and plants out of, and I've just got some pattern paper. And what we're going to start with is gluing our pattern paper onto our card, just like that. Okay. Once you get it glued down, we're just going to cut it out. You could tear it if you want it a little torn looking. That's fine too. Now what I'm going to do is cut some flower shapes out of my book pages here, so I can kind of draw what I want to get. And I'm going to draw a little flower. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to cut it out. And I may not be just on the lines because I wanted to leave a stem. But we are going to cut some of this extra away. Just helps me cut quicker if I cut off the parts I don't need. There's our flower. We're going to put it on. And I'm going to draw another flower out of another part of this page. And just a bunch of leaves. I'm going to cut this out. I'm just gluing these down. And then we're going to hit them with the heat gun real quick. Okay, and then you can take some markers. And there you go. There is one altered playing card, just using book page cut into any shape you want. And then we're going to take a pen and kind of do... Okay, and just go over it with your pen, and there you go. Very simple, very easy, a little different than you might be doing, but nothing crazy. Now the next one is going to be a little more in depth. The next one is really simple. We're going to cut out the center of the king. Once you get the center cut out, then all you're going to do is you can decorate with some more pattern paper, a little music paper along the edges, whatever you want. I'm going to just put some like that around the edges that the king is not on. And then I'm going to put the other one on the other end. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my flower and put it on the end. Kind of like that. If it hangs off a little bit, I don't care. You may want it to not hang off. But we're going to glue our flower down. There we go. We're going to trim off the pattern paper. And this is a window card, so we're going to add some plastic in the center for the window, or you can leave it open. Whatever works for you. Now, if you want to, you could take this little bag, take the flowers out, and put the bag behind there, and then you have a pocket. So I think we'll do that. Okay, so now I have a bag that has an opening, and I'm just going to cut off down at the bottom here so this doesn't show, but still sealed. And I'm going to put this, glue this behind here. Make sure your opening for your bag is on the right side. You'd want to glue it where you can't open it, so it'll be like that. Do that, and then we're going to put our bag down like that, and there you go. Now you have a window card with the plastic, plus it's a little pocket. So maybe you decide, oh, I want to make this like a specimen card with the flower on the front. So you're going to put a flower in here. So I got one of the flowers I just took out, and I'm going to push it down. You could glue it inside there, but I like to leave it loose in case I want to change it. Then you have your little specimen card with something in it. You could put a verse in there if you wanted to. Whatever you want to. This little simple envelope, window envelope, is very versatile, and it's a great use for reusing plastic bags. So that's number 2. Okay, number 3 is again a little more in depth than number 1 and number 2. We're going to take this card, and we are going to stitch on the teacup or the coffee cup. We'll do the teacup. Okay, and I'm just going to stitch it on there. I'm going to take one of these light bulbs that are so cool, and I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to get that out of the way. I'm going to take this little bitty coupon and put... Do you remember when maybe you were in school or your kids were in school and you'd do these Betty Crocker catalog points? I'm going to put that one right there. Then I'm going to cut out just something random off of this schematic paper. It doesn't even have to make sense, doesn't have to go the right way. I just like it for the pattern. I'm going to put it right here. I need 2 more things. I'm going to take my king that I just cut out of the center. We're just going to add some abstract art. So there we go. And then we need one more thing for right there. I'm going to cut out one of these flower stamps that I printed from Etsy. I bought them on Etsy from one of the... Now this one's going to be cut down a little bit smaller than a stamp. Whoops. Now you can glue these in place if you want to, or you can stitch them in place, but I'm only going to stitch them on one side so they flip up in their little doors. Then you could put a word underneath, a letter, maybe each one's a letter to a word, whatever you want to do. Or you could just stitch them all down like they are laid out here, and that could just be another altered card. Either way works. I will stitch one side down all the way. The other side I will leave as a flap, just so you can see how both ways would work. So I'm going to go stitch these really quickly. So on the left side here, I just stitched them down like you could. Stitch them all crazy, have fun with it. But on the right side, let me cut the string. On the right side, I left them as little flaps, and you could put a letter or a little picture, whatever you wanted to under there. So that's 2 different ways to do this type of card. So that's 3. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can use these. You decorate them how you want with paper and whatever. Once you get your cards decorated, sew them together offset like this. So I'm going to do that. Hold on. And now, by just doing those 2 stitches, you've made double pockets. You have a pocket there and a pocket there. Now, if you're worried about it falling through, just find the middle of your cards and stitch right across there, and you will have 2 pockets. That won't fall through. But they're not going to fall through, I tell you, because they're stitched tightly. So that's a reversible pocket. Now, how would you use this? You could put this inside a bigger pocket, or you could attach paper to it and use it as a tip-in for a page. Okay. Trying to get some bright spring colors here. 2 cards, and we're going to take, you can use any type of card you want. This is a green library card. And I'm going to cut it to fit the cards, only I want it to have the flap over. So we're going to leave that flap on there. All I did was bend it over, and all I'm going to do is cut off the overhang on this side. I want to decorate the front of this. This is a great writing surface, so that's our back. The front, let's put some paper on here, but I want to see some of my 6 playing card. So I think what I'm going to do is put some of the pink over here on the side and maybe trim it with the green like that. I like that. Let's add some of our little bit, maybe some music paper. I'm going to use some of this again. I like using pattern paper because you can see through it. Even if it has something on it, you can still see through it. So I'm going to put some pattern paper right in here. Now, I don't want to really bury it under something that's solid because that's just a waste of pattern paper. And then I'm going to put my pink paper on this side, up at the top, with the green hanging down like that. Maybe we'll do it like that. And then I'm going to stitch the pink and the green into place. So I will be right back. And I think we'll put the flower right in the center, and I could probably put one of these in the center of the flower. Okay, there we go. And we'll put the butterfly up there. So let me get one of these blue. Okay. So we got our heart in. And we're gonna fold our brads down on the back. And then we're gonna glue our butterfly on. Now remember our back card over here. And the flap is the flap to the top. You know what? I didn't think about that. I'm gonna take the butterfly off and just wipe off the glue. Remember to think about your design. But that's okay, because the glue just wiped off. Okay, so I will sew this all together, and then the flap will flap under my flower to hold it closed. Okay, so let's sew this together. There's our back, there's our front. So there is our pocket we made with our cards. Whoops. Yeah, I missed some stitching. Hold on. There are our 2 playing cards stitched together. Nice pocket. Nice little flap that folds down under our flower. And now our butterfly is going to go on our flap. Like that. And there we go. That's another way you can use playing cards to make a pocket, with a flap, and just make sure your flap and what's on it and what's under it go together. And there we go. Remember our kings that we cut apart? We're going to use the bigger one. If you have children's book pages or any magazine with a little figures in them, you can use those with your heads of your playing cards that you cut off to make. Remember, it's just something fun to do, and then you can stick these on a journaling card, just on a page, whatever you want. And so you can trim him down to be playing the fiddle, or trim him down to be a reading. So let's put him on the reading one. You don't need a sword to read, but you might want to keep the little club, heart, whatever it is. And so you get him and you put him on there and you just put him on a journaling card or whatever you want. So I'm gonna put the guy reading right here. And this is just so you don't waste any part of your playing cards. And a little drop of glue for his head. And like I said, these work great on journaling cards. And then the guy playing the fiddle, do the same thing. Cut his head off. And then get the other king's head, cut it off, and glue it to the fiddle guy. Then you have a cute little journaling card too. You can cut off the, the heart or the spade, whatever it is, the kind of playing card, but why? Look how cute. You could do this with Tim Holtz paper dolls. You could do this out magazines, whatever you have. So there is all of our ideas today for altering playing cards. You can just create fun designs, or you can create little pop-ups where you could put letters to spell something out, pictures. Again, I talked about our window. I talked about our very simple one, but it's fun and it's very in season. And of course, we've got our double pocket, which you can decorate however you want. And we've got our hinged pocket that you could decorate however you wanted as well. The only thing with the hinge, make sure that whatever's under it goes with the decor. So guys, I hope you had a good time with me today altering some playing cards. Maybe I gave you some ideas, or maybe I helped you remember some ideas. Just remember, have fun, and there's no rules. So whatever you want to do works. And if you mess up, hey, everybody messes up. It's okay. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time on Friday for a new video. Take care. Bye-bye.